The Cavern. 1. I don't like big words. Big words are for the kind of guys who work for my dad, not for guys like him, who owns his own company. But when we blasted our way into that big cavern, well, that was definitely $50 word time. Or even $100 or anything. People had already been going batshit over the pictures we'd already found. But everyone lost it when we went in there. The scans had shown everyone that there was a big, open space, really big. So we got plastic and blew a hole, and everybody went in. And there was all those stalactite stuff. But that wasn't what made everyone go astounding, amazing and stuff, and gasp and all that. The far wall looked as if it had been ironed flat. It was so smooth. And the picture, it was 50 feet high and at least 100 across. There was this peak of a jagged mountain, Everest big, and a river kind of running from it. And on each side of the river, cities, all towers and stuff. Kind of like that sword and magic thing. You know the thing some wimps like? And on one side, pouring towards one sword and sorcery place, was all these hundreds of thousands of cats, and running in towards the other place, these weird other kinds of animals. Millions of them as well. They were sort of like big rats with yellow eyes, but not, if you know what I mean. And there were these ghost-looking faces, kind of looking down from above the mountain, from the blue sky. Long, narrow eyes, weird long ears, thin noses, and pointed chins. They looked... I'm trying to get the word. Got it. They looked like my dad looked when there was that stupid dumb trouble with that French exchange student chick, and she cried and everything. He looked stern. That's the word. And the big ghost faces looked like that. And they looked down at the cats and the weird yellow-eyed rat things. Dad tried to shout me out about the stupid dumb her fault trouble that time, but good old Uncle Frank saved my ass. Anyway, I was near stupid lid-tart Gen X Professor Sinclair, and I think what old stupid said, for once, said it all. How can this be? He's a Scotchman and is kind of almost too white, if that's possible. But he went more white, like KKK sheet white. Then he said, looking up at those faces, like the face the mystic Carter described. And if you like all that, there was an honest-to-goodness woolly mammoth in the, what do you call it, foreground. And away on the other end, a saber-tooth. I'm not stupid. It occurred to me, among other things, what were cats doing on a picture in a cave in the jungle in South America? A cavern supposed to be sealed for, forever? As I said, I'm not a nidjet. Looking at the thing, it was also the, style. It wasn't the not allowed to call them Indians usual crap. The picture was like something painted by one of those Italian fags my mom likes. Reminiscence. No, got it, Renaissance. as in the fairs that are an excuse to get chicks to put stuff on display. Nobody but us knows, because there is like no internet, no cell phones. We have what they used to call radio silence. And another thing, the picture is kinda luminous. 2. And there was all this backslapping and stuff. It actually was good. Although me and Derek are only here because it's what's it? Prestigious. Not to mention that one of the boring libraries is named after my grandpops, and my dad has given them a shit ton of money. As I said, it was kind of interesting, and everyone went back to base camp. There was a lot of drinking and stuff, more congratulations, and this undergrad chick was giving me the eye. I know she was. She was one of those not allowed to call them Orientals, call them Asians pieces of ass. Uncle Frank told me he got some of that action in Vietnam. Uncle Frank is one smart boomer. He says there's real funny things, and is chairman of something called the Occidental Brotherhood. Once he told me those people have contributed mightily to human achievement. To pick up one thing with 2 sticks, or 2 things with 1 stick. He also had a few things to say about Professor Sinclair. Whilst we Anglo-Saxons are descendants of the lost tribes of Israel, those people are analog to the Canaanites. Anyway, I wasn't going to be boring just because it wasn't ordered by the president or something. So me and Derek waited till she walked out and was alone at last. And we just wanted to give her a kiss and a little clinch. And what a fuss she made. And this other undergraduate, another not allowed to call them Orientals, call them Asians guy turned up and had to play the big hero. And he started shouting, "Leave her alone." And there was a kind of fight, and he kind of hit his head and stopped breathing. And it was also like that stupid book, Mice and Men, because Derek sort of strangled the girl. It was all her fault. She should have been flattered 2 good-looking blonde guys had paid her attention. And the entire thing was stupid. She had less on her chest than a sparrow. It was easy to get rid of them. It is a lot of caves and stuff. As we tidied things up, it was like I could hear that old bastard Sinclair. I knew the stuff he'd say about how much bigger we was compared to the not allowed to call her Oriental dead bitch, and how he'd tell me all about all the new friends a boy like me would make in the pen. Although my dad would get me and Derek good lawyers. Anyway, it was fine, until a few days later, they all came at Derek and me and looked us up in this stupid storage unit. I don't believe what they say about how they found small pictures of me and Derek on the cavern wall, and pictures of where the bodies were. That's not something from the really real world. It's not. There are like holes all over the entire thing. And Sinclair did say some of that stuff to me, and okay, I cried. Just a bit. And I screamed that those 2 disappearing had nothing to do with us. And that was today's story. Until our next amusing little tale, Stephen and Naya wish you farewell.